In EE8, we're going to do a quick lesson on completing a table from an equation and then graphing it. So I'm going to do the first problem, and then I'll pause for you to do the second problem, and then I'll do the third problem, and then you'll finally do the fourth problem. So we're going to start here with this equation, y equals 2x plus 3. So if you look, this is where I came up with that equation. It's just not a made-up equation. And the directions are to complete a table and graph for a linear function. So if you look at your graph, I should say table, you'll notice that we know the x values. So I know that x is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. What I don't know is the y values. If I could start my coordinate point because I know the x, but if you notice, I could only get part of those done because I don't know what the y value is. So to be able to complete the table, I'm going to have to find the y value, which means we're just going to solve equations. So if you take that equation I gave you at the beginning and notice that there's an x in it, so to be able to find all the y values, we're just going to input the x value and it will give us our y value. So this first one, x is a -2. So if I put a -2 here, so y equals 2 times -2, because I'm going to input -2 first, plus 3. So 2 times -2 is -4. Add 3 is -1. So y equals -1. If you can't do that in your head, go ahead and just throw it in a calculator. 2 times -2 plus 3. So y is a -1. Now I can make a coordinate point. So when I have -2 as x, y is -1. I'm going to do the same thing again. This time I'm going to input x is -1. Same equation at the top. So 2, I should put y equals 2. Instead of an x, I'm going to input -1 and add 3. So y equals -2 plus 3, which is +1. So when x is -1, y is 1. So my coordinate point is -1, 1. Next problem, y equals 2, but this x this time is going to be 0, and then plus 3. So 2 times 0 is 0, add 3 is 3. So when x is 0, y is 3. So my point is 0, 3. Next equation, y equals 2. So instead of the x, now I'm going to put in a 1 plus 3. So 2 times 1 plus 3. Again, if you can't do it in your head, put it in a calculator. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So it's y equals 5. So the point is 1 for my x, 5 for my y. Next equation, y equals, I'll change color so you can tell the difference. Y equals 2 times, this time the x is 2, and we add 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So when x is 2, y is 7. So now that we've completed the table, now we have to graph it. So we're going to come down here. Okay, and we're going to graph when x is 2, y is a -1. So x is 2, remember this is your x-axis, so you go left, right first. So we're going on the negative side. So 1, 2, and y is -1. That means you go down. When x is -1, y is 1. So -1 is to the left, and then a +1 means you go up. When x is 0, y is 3. So 0, so you don't move on the x-axis left or right, but you go up 3. 1, 2, and 3. When x was 1, y was 5. So here is 1. This is where x is 1, y is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When x is 2, so we're going to go over 1, 2, y is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, good news is they should be in a straight line. We call them collinear. And if you notice, all the points are in a straight line. So you're going to take a ruler, a flat edge, whatever you have, and you're just going to connect all of them. Yours will look much better than mine. And you go all the way off the graph. Well, that's really bad, but it should be straight here. And that is completing the table and graph. So you'll know it's right if it makes a straight line. So stop the video and do your next page 3 on your own. Okay, let's check to see if you did page 3 correctly. So this is what you should have gotten. So again, stop the video, check what I have, check what you have, and make sure you got those same answers. So well, it's actually page 4 here. This one looks a little bit different. This time the equation is 2x plus 4y equals 8. So again, we know what the x values are. They're -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. We have to go find those y's. So I'm going to start with just at the top. I'm going to plug in -2 first. So we have 2 times -2 plus 4y equals 8. So this takes a little more steps. So you're going to take 2 times -2 first and get -4 plus 4y equals 8. Now I know you can do this because we just got done doing this in EE7, and this is like set 1. Now we got to get y alone. So that means I need to get rid of -4. So the inverse is to add 4. So these are gone because that's 0. So 4y equals 12. And then to get rid of the 4, because we want 1y, we're going to divide it by 4 because that's the inverse. So y equals 3. So when x is -2, y is 3. So my coordinate is -2, 3. Okay, next one. This time I'm going to plug in -1 in for x. So 2 times -1 plus 4y equals 8. So 2 times -1 is -2 plus 4y equals 8. To get rid of -2, notice we keep doing the same steps here, just different numbers. We're going to add 2. So 4y equals 10. We're going to divide by 4 on both sides. Y equals 2.5. So when x was -1, y was positive 2.5. So my point is 1, comma, 2.5. Next equation, this time we're going to plug in 0. So 2 times 0 plus 4y equals 8. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, so that mathematically doesn't matter. So I have the 4. I want to reduce that to 1y. So we're going to divide by 4. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So when x was 0, y is equal to 2. I'll put 2 here. And your point is 0, now 2. Okay. Next point, squeeze it in over here. So this time, x is 1. So 2 times 1 plus 4y equals 8. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 4y is 8. I'm going to get rid of the positive 2, so I'm going to subtract 2. So 4y equals 6. You want 1y, so we're going to divide by 4, put it in 4 pieces. And 6 divided by 4 is 1.5. So when x was 1, y was 1.5. So my point is 1.5. And the last one is x is 2. So 2 times 2 plus 4y equals 8. Notice you keep doing the exact same steps over and over, just with different numbers. Get rid of the 4, so I'm going to subtract 4. So 4y equals 4. Divide by 4 on both sides. So y equals 1. So when x was 2, y was 1. I'm going to erase that so it's not in our way to graph here. All right, so we're going to graph these. If they're a straight line, or we call them collinear points, then we know that we did this correct. So 2 and 1. All right, so we're going to start with 3. Sorry, I apologize. We're going to start with -2 because that's what x is. So -2 means you go to your left, 1, 2, and y is 3, so you go up 3 on the y, 1, 2, and 3, so you're going to put a point there. X is -1, so we're going to go over to the left, but y is 2.5, so 1, 2 and a half. When x is 0, which means I go nowhere on the x-axis, but y is 2, I'm going to go up 2. Looking pretty good. Looks pretty straight line there. When x is 1, so you're going to go on the x-axis to your right 1, and y is 1.5. So go up 1.5. And when x is 2, y is 1. So we must have done it correctly because it's a beautiful straight line. Again, you get a ruler out or a straight edge. You're going to make a nice line through the points all the way off the coordinate grid and put arrows at the end telling you that the line continues forever in both directions. Again, pause the video. You try the fourth example on page 5. Okay, so back. Hopefully you've done the math here. Here's your table. This is where the lines on the graph should have been. There's just one more I'm going to talk about because on Excel, when you do Z10, has tricked some people out. So it's y equals, let's say 5. And they have their table. And I don't know what your x values are. We'll just go with what I've been doing. Okay. Don't let this one confuse you because if you read it, x equals 5. Is there anywhere to plug in the x value? I'm sorry, y equals 5. Is there anywhere to plug in the x value? No. Plus, if I just read it, y equals 5. Equations just like sentences. Y equals 5. So what does y equal here? 5. What does y equal here? 5. What is y? 5. What is y? 5. Why does y? 5. It's as simple as that when you get to that IXL